So this is the 2014 Leaving Cert Ordinary Level Paper 1, and we're looking at question number 3. Solve for x. 2 bracket 4 minus 3x plus 12 is equal to 7x minus 5 bracket 2x minus 7. So we have to solve this equation. So we're going to multiply out the brackets first on both sides. So this minus 5 on the right gets multiplied by this bracket. So on the left you've got 2 by 4, which gives 8. 2 times minus 3x is minus 6x. And then you've got your 12. On the right, now be careful here, some people multiply the 7x as well by this stuff in the middle, in the bracket. But you don't do that, it's just the 7x is on its own. And then minus 5 by 2x is minus 10x. Minus 5 times minus 7 is plus 35. Okay, so now what can we do? We can bring all the x's to one side and all the numbers to one side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring 8 over here, negative 8, the 12 over there to be negative 12. That can combine with the plus 35, and then the 7x I'm going to bring over here to become minus 7x, and the negative 10x can also go over there to become positive 10x. Okay, so now that means that on the left I have 10x minus 7x minus 6x. And on the right, I've got 35 minus 8 and minus 12. Okay, so 10 minus 7 minus 6, that gives me minus 3x on the left. That's equal to 35 minus 8 minus 12. So 35 minus 20 is 15. So minus 3x is equal to 15. So what I do now is I divide by whatever in front of x. So in front of x I have minus 3, I'm going to divide that by minus 3. Do the same on the other side. The reason I divide by minus 3 is because minus 3 divided by minus 3 cancels to give 1x, or just x. And on the right, 15 divided by minus 3 is minus 5. So there's my answer for x. Part 2 says verify your answer to part 1 above. Okay, so if I verify my answer, it just means check the answer. So I'm going to put this answer into the original equation in place of x and see, does the left hand side equal to the right hand side. So I'm going to do it like this. The left hand side is 2 bracket 4 minus 3. Instead of the x, I'm going to put in the minus 5 in a bracket of its own. And then I have plus 12. So that's the left hand side. That's equal to, you can work this out now on your calculator if you like, but minus 3 by minus 5 is plus 15. So you get 2 by 4 plus 15 plus 12. That's equal to 2 19s, which is 38. Plus 12, which is 50. And now I'm going to do the right hand side. The right hand side was 7x, instead of x I'm going to put in the negative 5, minus 5 times twice x, again twice negative 5, minus 7. So that gives me 7 by minus 5 is minus 35. Minus 5 times 2 by minus 5 is minus 10. Minus 10 minus 7 is minus 17. So that gives minus 35. Minus 5 by minus 17 gives positive 85. And minus 35 plus 85 is 50. So you can say then left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So you got 50 in both cases. So that's your answer verified. Okay, part B, solve the simultaneous equations x plus y is 7 and x squared plus y squared equals 25. Okay, so when you're solving simultaneous equations and one of them has squared terms, the best method to use is substitution. So what we do is we rearrange the easy looking one. So rearrange this to make x or y the subject. So x plus y is 7. If I rearrange this, I get, if I bring the y over, for example, to the other side, it becomes a negative y. So I get x on the left is equal to 7 minus y. And then what I do is I'm going to substitute this in here. Okay, so you sub this value here, sub this in here instead of the x in the second equation. And that will give me, instead of x squared, I now have 7 minus y squared plus the y squared that's there equals 25. So what has that done? That has given me one equation now with one unknown. So I've just got y's here, so I'm going to be able to find the answer for y here, and when I do, I'm going to substitute that value or values back into the easy equation to find my x values. Okay, so I now have this to solve. Now, be careful here. 7 minus y is all squared. Now what that means is that it's 7 minus y multiplied by itself. That's what squaring is. So when you write that out, you realize that it's the expansion of, or the multiplication of, two brackets. Some people just square the 7 and square the minus y squared, and that only gives them part of the answer, as you'll see here. 7 by the 7, or 7 squared, is 49. But then you have these terms. Minus y by 7 is minus 7y. And then 7 by minus y again is minus 7y. And then your minus y by your minus y is your plus y squared. So you still have another y squared then here, and that's equal to 25. So just to be clear there, this 7 minus y squared became this when you write it out longhand, and then when you multiply all that out, you got this business here. So you still had your y squareds and your 25s there. So then that becomes, when we tidy up, we can put the y squared and the y squared together. That gives me 2y squared. Then we have these two terms here, which can go together. Minus 7y is minus 14y. And then we have 49. But we can bring this 25 over to be with the 49, and it becomes negative 25. So 49 minus 25 is 24, positive 24. So there we go. 2y squared minus 14y plus 24 equals 0. So that's a quadratic equation, which we can solve. Now, you have a choice here. You can solve this by factorizing, or you can use the quadratic formula, which I've taken from the tables book here. So you can just sub these values in for a, b, and c. Now, you could also divide everything here by 2, because it's equal to 0. So in other words, you can factorize 2 out. So that is something you could do to make things a bit easier. But I'm just going to go straight up substitute these values in here. So in other words, if you remember, my a value I'm going to sub in here will be the coefficient of the squared term. So 2, and my b value, which will be going there, will be the minus 14, and the c value, which will go there, will be the 24. So what I get then is x is equal to minus the b value, which is minus 14. So be careful there, it's minus b, which is minus 14, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is minus 14 squared, minus 4 by a, which is 2, and by c, which is 24. And then that's all going to be over twice a, which in our case is 2. So what you're going to do then is you're going to do on your calculator, you're going to do this, all of this here, type it all into your calculator, once with plus and once with minus. Okay, so when you do this, once with plus and once with minus, the values you get are, and sorry, this isn't, because this equation here was in y, we're actually finding y values here. Even though this from the tables book says x equals all of this, that's for a quadratic in x. This is a quadratic in y, so we're actually finding out y's here. So once with plus, once with minus, the two answers you get are 4 and 3. So they're my two y values, 4 and 3. So my two y values, I found them. I'm now going to substitute them in here to the first equation, x plus y equals 7, to find the x values. So x plus y is 7. If I sub in the y value of 4, I get x plus 4 is 7. That means that x is 3. And if I sub in to the same equation, if I sub in the 3 value this time, x plus 3 is 7, well, that means that x is 4. So there are all my answers to the equations. So x is 3 and 4, and y is 4 and 3. That's the solution to the simultaneous equation, the end of part B and the end of question 3.